Everybody, so we have had so many tweets this morning with regard to the question of the day that we're asking. So if you haven't seen it as yet, let's remind you, and then we'll take a look at some of those tweets that have come through.
And this is what we're asking. What realistic changes to the country's current economic situation do you expect from the appointment of Tito Mboweni as finance minister? And here are your views.
All right, our first opinion coming from Sonwabile, saying, honestly, there's not enough time for those changes, but giving him a benefit of the doubt would be fair enough.
Tinelo says it is not bringing money. He's not bringing money along with him, so nothing major to expect. Sometimes we rejoice for nothing.
Kodani saying, I don't expect any changes. I just expect for him to bring a sense of stability and build trust. I believe he should use this time until the election to thoroughly study the current situation and properly formulate strategies to implement in the new term.
And this one from Ad Kudza, who says, stretch the rand, create employment and revive the economy. Now, I'd like to say, I trust him.
Good. All right. Tabo saying, he served in the Reserve Bank for a very long time, that's 10 years to be precise, and due to his experience as a financial minister, back then I think he is going to do good and raise our markets also. We welcome him.
Jangisa says, I'm expecting fiscal discipline to be enforced and for our growth projections to be maintained and job creation to be prioritized.
Sibongiseni saying, we're not expecting much, seeing some of his views he shared on hashtag RET.
Radical economic transformation.
Thank you very much. Gosh, yeah, you're educating here. In fact, stay tuned because we're going to show you some of those tweets that Tito Mboweni, when he was not minister, he was completely out of government, and we'll show you some of the things that he has been saying over the years, and that radical economic transformation is very much so a theme. Anyway, just to get back to Sibongiseni's tweet, the only hope for this country is policy change and policy implementation. It's not a one-man show. After all, Nene's capacity was not in question. It's his integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobo says, I hope he will exercise integrity and will help to grow the economy.
Tao saying, we are going through a crucial time right now, and we need people that will do their job, not experimenters. Young people will be good later when the economy is stable. Good move, Mr. President.
Lufuno says nothing much to expect since Mr. Nene was performing well. His constitutional mandate, except shaking hands with the Gupta brothers.
All right, those are some of the tweets that have come through. There are a lot more. If you want to visit our Twitter page, take a look at the thread of messages that have come through. Very interesting. So are we doing that?
Yeah. You follow him on Twitter?
I do, very much
too.
so. And he is... Yeah, I mean, in fact, the DA's David Menia wrote a piece, I think it's in the... Here, it's in The Citizen. And I'm just going to quote one line from David Menia, the DA shadow minister, saying, he often came over on social media as a little loony at odds with government policy. That's just to quote what David wrote. He wrote a very small column here just saying, some of those tweets were a little bit scary. So let's see what he had to say.
And this is one of them. Against the wisdom of my team, please don't tell them this. It's between us. I'm not available for Minister of Finance. You cannot recycle the same people all over again. It is time for young people. We are available for advisory roles, not cabinet. We have done that.
Now, this was tweeted at 10 past 1 in the morning on the 19th of February 2018. So that was not too long ago. And guess what? He is now the finance minister. Okay?
Indeed.
Here's another one, Tito Mboweni.
Mboweni's truck hire, not mine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's one.
Ethics, Lee.
Tito Mboweni, actually, talking about President Zuma's action-packed political diary, do politicians ever retire? I prefer to hear and see what they are up to than guess when they are silent. It seems people tend to miss retired politicians in general. Dix Owa said George Koch.
And also, there was a time when people talked about the 3 TMs, President Thabo Mbeki, Trevor Manuel, and Tito Mboweni. Now, the economy even reached 6% GDP growth. Remember that? Down memory lane. With President CR, we can do that again. But inclusive growth, doable. With a very important admission there about the jobless growth that we saw during that time when we were seeing 6%
Absolutely. And again, note the timeline. I'm looking at the dates. For me, the dates are very important because that was the same day as this, and that was on the 12th of September. So it's getting closer to his appointment where he starts talking growth, GDP, and getting real. Here's another one. We did not plot anything with the president. Pensioners have no time for plots. But what to do to get the country to move forward? Great conversation.
Mm-hmm. And this one says, the first banknotes I signed in 1999.
That was when he first became the Reserve Bank governor. Then it got tough and very lonely. It's very comical on social media.
Oh! And he says, this is how it ends. Rivers flowing. I love chilies. Don't do a meme. How could we not do a meme with that?
I mean, now that you've asked, we're going to... This is my best. Relax, my people. My ears were not expropriated without compensation. It's poor selfie photography on my part. I must learn to tilt sideways. Greetings. We have a good sense of humor here in our finance
We
minister.
certainly do. And then to Julius Malema, he says, Juju is an interesting young man from Seshego in Limpopo. I always pushed him to study, and he did. You are an ANC kid, I always say to him. Tiama, is that how you say it?
Governor.
Timer. Timer. Old man, governor. Oh, very respectful to me. And now nobody in the name of the EFF must insult me on Twitter or Facebook. Tell them, CIC.
Oh.
Timer. You know how colloquially you would refer to an older person. Yeah.
And they go on. I was the Minister of Labour from 1994 until 1998. We drafted a labour relations law. This law gave workers and employees or employers rights. Right of interest and of power. You need in life to know your place.
And then he became the Reserve Bank governor.
And
as Kosatu was saying, very conservative in that portfolio. And I want to be there. Send me. And he was putting his hand up there.
He asked and he
on the
received.
31st of May 2018.
He asked and he received. And more pictures. This picture has always been a source of inspiration for me. I hope it will be for many generations to come. It had been announced by President Mbeki that I was to be the governor of the SAB. The first time since 1921 that an African would hold that position. Obviously crediting Reuters for that photograph.
Yeah, and this is the last one. I think expropriation without compensation is here at the JSE. Nobody seems to be hungry.
Oh my gosh, okay. There was one tweet as well we didn't put on there, and that was his sort of talk on wanting 40% ownership of mines by government, opening up a state bank, those kind of things. He tweeted very much so about those. So it is going to be an interesting time for our finance minister.
Very much so. And Kosatu indicating earlier that they don't see him coming back after the 2019 election. So that's going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on these developments. But now, of course, we're going to go to a break. And then when we come back, Baylan standing by with your sport.